Have you ever felt the urge to lead, yet hesitated, sensing that power might divide you from others? Or felt the weight of group dynamics pressing you into silence or control? You may be living the deeper evolutionary challenge of the seventh shadow of division. The Leo shadow of division embodies the toxic masculine patriarchal approach to leadership, where fear and insecurity shape decisions. It promotes creating fear-based narratives to control and influence others, rather than encouraging discernment and healthy boundaries. This shadow often taps into unresolved trauma, fostering an us versus them mentality. I'll share a quick parable called the Mirror of Fire. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. In the beginning, there were many tribes, each guided by a seer, a leader chose not by birth, but by the courage of their heart. The seer of the valley was a woman named Elira, known for her calm gaze and unshakable presence. One day, a comet split the sky, and with it came fear. Crops failed, animals vanished, storms raged, and the people turned not to unity, but to blame. Another tribe rose, led by Kareth, a man with iron in his voice and fire in his chest. He promised protection, but demanded loyalty. We must choose a single path, he said. Mine. The valley split. Elira refused to fight him. Instead, she retreated to the mountains, where a sacred artifact had long been kept, the Mirror of Fire. Legend said that the mirror would reveal one's deepest truth. When she looked into it, Elira didn't see her face. She saw both tribes mirrored within her. One eye wept with fear, the other burned with conviction. She realized the shadow of leadership is not one of force or fear, but of forgetting that we are all parts of the same body. She returned not to rule, but to listen, and slowly the walls of division began to fall, not through battle, but through truth. This seventh gene key gate carries a frequency that shapes how we lead and how we follow. It governs the collective field, the tribal, the familial, cultural systems through which humanity has evolved for millennia. At its shadow frequency, this challenge expresses as division, the belief that we must separate in order to survive. This shadow appears when leadership is driven by the fear of being betrayed, unresolved trauma around trust, a deep-seated wound around visibility and responsibility. In group dynamics, it manifests as us versus them mentalities, fear-based control structures, and avoidance of leadership roles due to fear of failure or being scapegoated. Whether it's a repressed statement like, I'd rather stay small than risk conflict, or the reactive, I must control or we will all collapse. Division is rooted in fundamental fear that if, quote, if I lead with love, I'll be overpowered by fear. But here is what's crucial to understand. The shadow is not a flaw, it's an evolutionary function. In our physical evolution, division has ensured territorial protection, tribal loyalty, and strategic survival. It protected us when unity was a luxury and fear was a warning system. But in this timeline of spiritual ascension, this same division becomes the very thing that delays our collective unfolding and flowering. It holds us in separation even when unity is calling. This seventh challenge shows us what was once protected now limits us. This challenge isn't just about external leadership. It's about the inner structure, the part of us that splits into the part that feels ready to lead and the part that fears being seen. This is why we often sabotage our own authority, not because we lack clarity, but because we fear what that clarity may cost. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work. Over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7, because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, the hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference For example, I use the Human Design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. Understanding the transition from fear to virtue and the higher invitation. What lies on the other side of division is not dominance, but virtue. This ascended state of grace is like the essence of this challenge that you're here to integrate. This is not a virtue dictated by rules or morality, but by alignment, by inner coherence. It is a leadership that emerges not from the mind or ego, but from the soul's deep listening. And yet, to get there, one must pass through the middle path called the gift of guidance. True guidance does not divide, it harmonizes. It does not overpower, it invites. It does not seek control, it surrenders to service. The journey from division to virtue is not linear, it's cyclical. We fall, we divide, we return, and through each cycle, we build the spiritual musculature to lead from presence instead of protection. If you carry this specific pattern of evolution in your gene keys profile or your human design chart, or if it resonates deeply with you in general, it may be because your soul carries this ancient memory of leadership and the ancient wound of misused power. So remember, you're not here to avoid leadership. You're here to redefine it. Lead not by division, but by virtue. To lead not for control, but for connection. The evolutionary change partner to this seventh shadow challenge is in Aquarius, and it's in gate or gene key 13, which is the Aquarian shadow of discord, which is kind of like the chemistry of pessimism and the fear of real internal change and the path towards empathy. In future videos, I'll be exploring other practices and other patterns and other pathways through these shadows. But for now, simply notice the pull between separation and service. And remember, every fear-based wall is guarding a love-based truth waiting to be lived. Thank you for being here on the sacred path. If the message stirred something within you, you can like, subscribe, share with someone who is in a position of leadership that could be helped by this. Or you can leave an answer to this question in the comment section. Where do you feel called to lead with virtue. I look forward to your return for the next transmission of the Shadow Work series, in where we explore the eighth pattern of evolutionary change. Down in the description below, you will find an email address. So if you want to do a one-on-one with me, you can reach out. There will also be links to my website and links towards my 3 archives, because these 3 archives are individually linked to my Divination Systems meetup group, my Emotional Intelligence and Mastery meetup group, and my Emotional Trauma Release meetup group. If you're interested in joining those groups, I look forward to seeing you there. If not, you have access to those archives through my website, and they're free. Thank you for watching this content in its entirety, and I look forward to providing you more information and deep insight into your shadow work, how to transmute it, and integrate the gifts from doing so. God bless you, namaste, and good life to all of you.